But yeah. So when you open a pack of Unlimited, the first thing you get on top is a leader. We're already things looking up. I've got a hyperspace leader right here off the bat. I had a few of those lurking at the back. I don't think IG was one. Nope. I've got a Grand Inquisitor, a Krennic, a Jyn, a Chewbacca, and now an IG. So that's nice. Nice to see that. Good start to things. Then you should get, I think you'll always get a base. You always this is the, for lack of a better way to put it, this is like, if you've ever played Magic, this is like the one land card you get in every pack. But the nice thing is they're double-sided. The backside of these serve as tokens for some of the gameplay that you'll be doing. And then I'm just going to stack that out of the way because most of the bases nobody really cares. Then you get, let's see, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 commons. That's exactly right, Striker. You always have, every pack has a leader and a base. And every deck that you ever build has to start with a leader and a base, period. So you get one of those in every pack no matter what you do. You get 9 commons. Then you get a bunch of uncommons. Then you get a rare. In this case, a Jedi lightsaber. It's a nice one. Nice upgrade. And then I've got a common foil here, a Lothal Insurgent. So sometimes the foils are really good. Sometimes the foils are, they're not so amazing. It kind of depends. There's just no way to predict it really. What I'm going to do as I go here is I'm just going to kind of sort. I'm going to sort stuff by color because that's how I'm going to end up storing my cards is by color down the road. That'll make it easier for me to find stuff later on. I have a giant box over here on the floor, so I catch all this trash. Yeah, Striker. I mean, in Magic, you would call it, basic land. It's kind of the same idea, right? There's a Jyn, common leader. Nothing fancy there. Base, some commons, some good uncommons. There's me a Han. We like that, and another foil common. No hyperspace cards in that pack. Sad. Been through 2 now with none of those. That does happen though. Sort these out. I really enjoyed playing Draft last night. This game drafts very, very well. It was interesting to be at a table also with nobody. With nobody else drafting Rebel. It meant I had a lot of good stuff come across my way. Adeldrel, maybe. I've talked to some AV people. I have a number of friends that work in professional audio-visual, right? And we have discussed the idea of doing, getting like an ATEM, Blackmagic ATEM stuff in here. It has a couple of problems with it. I won't say problems. It has a couple of quirks with it. There you go. I think the hyperspace locations look really good too, right? Like compare that to the regular, right? I love the look of the borderless cards, particularly in the locations. I think they look really, really awesome. I think they've done an excellent job with that. We've talked about putting an ATEM machine in here. Uncommon foil. Old wrinkly. Papa Palpatine. Go for Papa Palpatine. So there's me another hyperspace common. But the problem, so it had a couple of problems with the Notion when I started looking into it. One was the cost, right? The barrier to getting into that was significantly higher than what I had already sort of been budgeting for. Also, it's more, in my experience, it's more finicky and more challenging to learn. I'm trying to figure out how to explain this. When I first started going to Wargaming to do casts in their studio for tournaments and stuff, right? Their setup, their World of Tanks setup included a crazy ATEM machine, right? And it was a real hassle for them to kind of, it was watching them fight that thing to figure out how to use it was not encouraging. Consortium Star Viper. The ships look nice in foils. I like that. That's nice. Emperor's Legion. Like that too. That looks good. There's me another. Okay, get rid of you. Just look for anything in here that looks particularly interesting. Okay, good to see. I'll sort. I'll probably should just get to where I'm sorting through the rest of this stuff later. I had no choice. And a foil entrenched. Foil uncommon. No hyperspace cards. Very sad. One of the things that I'm hoping, I suppose, for lack of a better way to put it, is that there's, you know, the collector's market for this eventually does take off. There are some cards that I absolutely probably will make the time to go after in hyperspace versions, but there are some that I'm just like, I don't care. I'm happy to sell those or trade those to somebody who will value them more highly than I will, right? There we go. There's me a legendary Mace Windu. Nice to see. So there are 4 rarity levels in the game, right? You have common, uncommon, and rare, which is very typical, and then you have legendary. This is something that I first saw Fantasy Flight doing back in Destiny. They had legendary cards in every set. And legendaries, I think in that game, were guaranteed at a rate of 3 a box. And here, the average, they're not guaranteed at all. The average for most people so far seems to have been about 4 in a box, you know, alternate art versions notwithstanding. Did I see Total War Rome, the board game? I did not. I am not familiar. I've never played Total War Rome, so the board game version would probably not be something that I went, oh, look at that. It wouldn't register on my radar. So that's nice. I pulled one of these last night. So what you've got here in this pack, we'll show you. Standard, leader, base, 9 commons. When you get to the uncommon slots, the last uncommon slot has a legendary in it. It has a hyperspace legendary in it. This is a Vigilance. So that is an amazing card. I pulled one of those last night in my draft. And I did not play blue last night. Not remotely, but I took that particular card and kept it because I was like, ooh, pricey board game. Pricey board games have become the norm these days, Andrew. And I've got a foil rare here. This is Bendu. If you've ever watched Rebels, you might remember Bendu had a couple episodes there in the middle seasons. No Good to Me Dead. I love the art on this card. Look at this. Look at this. Han and Carbonite. He's no good to me dead. Nice. I like that one. I'd actually seen one of those before. Very cool. That was a good pack, right? You had a foil rare, a decent regular rare, and a hyperspace legendary all in the same pack. So electric, probably not yet, Andrew. The game is too new. We'll see how that goes. There are, that's pretty. Oh man, that is pretty. Look at that. Look at the hyperspace version of that. Let me show you the base card. Let's see, I think I pulled one earlier. I know I've got one in here. I just got to go dig it up. Hold on. There you go. I mean, look at, it's hard to see on the dark mat, but like the borderless version looks so awesome. Just, it's almost like comic book art versus like art, right? It's just, it looks so amazing. So to answer your question, Andrew, the answer is right now, I'd say probably not, just because the game is too new. Everybody's still sort of figuring out what's going to happen and how it's going to go. There is one kind of ultra rarity level. Galactic Ambition. It's nice. Ooh, a foil hyperspace common, but that is still beautiful. Look at that for a ship. Look at that little headhunter. God, that looks awesome. I love the art. They've done such a good job with the art in this set. Yeah, yeah, exactly, Bulldozer. Exactly. So there is one, of course, we talked about. So every card in the base set for this particular game has technically four versions, right? You have regular, foil, hyperspace, which is the borderless, and then you have hyperspace foil. So foil, a foil version of the borderless card. That's like increasing difficulty fine, like low to high. There is one more that is kind of out there, and that is the leader cards. If you remember, the very first pack I pulled had this IG-88 in it, right? So the leader cards have there's 18 leaders in the set. Each of them has a specific, unique version of the card called a showcase version. It's foiled on both sides, and it's completely different art. The card layout is completely different. It's the same info, but it's laid out differently, okay? And those right now, those are like one in every two cases, right? So getting one of those is kind of like right now the crazy, like the crazy rare, right? Trick is that right now nobody has a good feel for what those actually cost, in the sense of the game is still new, still very new. Demand is kind of and they're not necessary. They really are for collectors. I've seen them listed as high as 400 each, like for an individual card. I've seen them 150 to 250. Like it all kind of depends. There does not seem to be a consistent price point right now, and some of that is the game is still too new, and some of that is just demand in general for them is everybody's looking to sell. It feels like. My personal belief, this is not based on evidence. This is just what I think is going to happen. I think they're going to start high. I think the collector's market for this is not really there right now. I think they're going to fall a bit. And then I think come summer when the second set comes out and the collectors start to get in, the game remains big and all that they will, the price will go back up. And I think that's going to be probably the time to pick them. There we go. Rare leader, my first Chirrut. He's one of the rebel leaders you can get in this set. I watched somebody play him last night in draft. Looking forward to trying him myself. He looks kind of fun. Chirrut Imwe. I'll put him out here. There we go. Get rid of this. Let's see what's our. Okay, another hyperspace card there. Agent Callus. We like him. Solid. Foil common. And then what have we got here? A foil no good to me dead. Now that looks really good. Man, look at, we just literally, I'd never seen one of these until a little while ago. And now, let me find it. Hold on. I'll go dig it back up. Put them side by side. Look at this. Look at that. Like that is just, oh God, I love the look of the hyperspace stuff. The borderless cards are just gorgeous. I'll sort all the commons and stuff here in a little bit, and then we'll go on to the next box. The other thing about these packs, I'm used to opening foil packs, right, of cards. These are paper. The wrapping is paper. There we go. There's a showcase. I mean, not a showcase. A hyperspace Jin. Hyperspace Jin Urso. I think I already had one of her. Yep, had one of her from a previous event. That's the only hyperspace in this pack. What do we got? Another don't get. Oh, that's okay. I've got yet another don't get cocky. I have several of these from other decks, from other events. I've pulled several of those along the way. Okay, now Andrew, you'll have to help me out here. I don't know anything about Pokemon cards other than that they're a thing, right? I know they exist. I have never bought, played. What I know about Pokemon wouldn't fill a thimble. Is that like an old card, like from one of the original print runs of the game way back in the day? Back in the late 90s when the game was new? Or is that a newer card that it's surprising that it's that much, or what? Hyperspace Greedo. Spark of Rebellion. That is a really, really strong yellow rebel card. Foil Bosk. Bosk is an amazing card. One of the things that I really have come to appreciate about this game, having played two sealed events in a draft, is how strong some of the commons and uncommons are. You know how, if you've ever played TCGs, collectible games, it always felt like you got so much trash in the common slots, right? Like, so many common cards were just thoroughly like, you weren't really excited to get them, right? This game, there's me another Cassian, like that. Foil Hyperspace Force Throw. It's kind of pretty. This game, one of the things that I love about it is that, oh, there we go, another legendary. That's my second Cunning. I picked one up in one of my pre-releases. They've done a really good job of designing the kind of the power level of the various cards to the point where, oh, no, pull Cassian out, you dummy. There's a lot of really good commons, right? Like, when you go to draft a game, when you go to open a pack in a draft, you don't necessarily just run straight for the rare, right? You look around and go, oh, okay, you know? And there's some amazing cards. The relative power level of the card is not necessarily directly coupled to its rarity level. Foil Green Squadron A-Wing, Jedha City, a rare base. Each of the colors has a rare base, so sometimes you'll pull those. And then, yeah, okay. The True Holy Grail. I don't know what PSA 10 means, but it sounds like there are not many copies in existence, and therefore it is nutty in terms of what it costs. Looks like we got another hyperspace location here. There we go, Administrator's Tower. Really do like the hyperspace locations. When I used to play many moons ago, Rook, he's excellent. And then a foil hyperspace battlefield marine. This is an amazing card, and I love the look of that. That's pretty. I might have to look around for some more of those. Years ago, when I played the old Lord of the Rings TCG from Decipher, one of the things that I did when I built decks was I went out of my way to get foil versions of the sites. You don't know what it is. It's a trading card game, Electric. It's a trading card game. In Lord of the Rings, you built a fellowship, and then you had to walk them down the path, right? Nine locations, and numbered 1 to 9, and each one was represented an actual location that the party had visited or could have theoretically visited, right? And they were usually screen caps from the movies, right? So you had locations like Hobbiton and the Prancing Pony and Rivendell and all this sort of thing. And in that game, they printed foils. So you had, regular cards, and then you had the foil version of the same card. They didn't have all this alternate art stuff like here. This is kind of a new thing for me. Man, another borderless location there, Dagobah Swamp, another hyperspace. Ooh, yeah, Fett's Fire Spray. That is an amazing card. I got to get me some unit Fetts. I have some leader Fetts already. And the only foils in that game when I kind of played it and tried to collect it was I wanted the foil locations. And they were almost all of them uncommons and uncommons. So they weren't hard to get. But it took a little time, right? You were looking for specific ones. And then the other one was, there was a card in every set that represented the One Ring. And I always wanted the foil of that because the foils of those cards were really, really pretty. Professional sports authenticators. Right. So I have some old ancient stuff. Oh, yes. Emperor's Royal Guard. We like that. I needed more of those because I plan to build a Palpatine deck. We have a foil hyperspace Jedi lightsaber. That's pretty. And then a regular hyperspace Bright Hope, which is an excellent rebel ship. That transport ship that you see them coming out with, leaving Hoth with. Okay, that's a nice pack. So, had what, two hyperspaces in there? 3 hyperspaces in there? That's nice. I have some I have exactly one comic book I've thought about sending it off to get it graded. Years ago, when the old Batman the Animated Series was still on the air. Oh, look at that, ladies and gentlemen. We have a showcase. We have a showcase. That is what a showcase is. So, this is a showcase leader. This is Sabine Wren. And I'll find one of the plain ones so you can see the comparison. There we go. Okay, so this is what Sabine. Okay, I'm going to slide things over. The camera is not being kind here. So this is what Sabine normally looks like when you get a common version. This is the showcase version, right? So you have completely different art on both sides. The card layout is different. It's foiled front and back, and these like I was saying, these are 1 every 2 cases. So 1 every 12 boxes, basically. So yeah, that's pretty. She is arguably one of the more popular leaders in the game right now. She's very, very strong because she does a ton of damage very quickly. And so that's nice. I need to get a sleeve for that before I get too far. Give me a sec. Give me a sec. I'm going to go grab a sleeve. Hang on a minute. Not that button. No. Yeah, there we go. That one. I was kind of hoping I'd pull one of these. And if I'm brutally honest, I don't know that I'll play Sabine. There's a part of me, one of the things that one of the things about me is that when it comes to TCGs, I very, very, very much despise playing what everybody else plays. I am a contrarian. That's just my nature. Yeah, man, that looks really good. That's a great looking card. They did good. They did good job with the art on these. And so right now, like I was saying, Sabine is arguably one of the most popular decks in the game, right? And so inherently then I am biased against her. Not because she's bad, quite the opposite, but because I'm like, I don't want to do what everybody else is doing. I am a contrarian that way. Another hyperspace common, a little repair there. Have a foil in the back. This is a Vigilant Honor Guards. Wow, guys, holy crap. Okay, look at this pack. This pack had a hyperspace leader and a legendary in it, a Vader. This one pack is probably worth $200 just on those 2 cards alone. Vader is right now the most sought after legendary in the game, and Sabine is, like I said, you could on the low end, if you could find someone to buy it, you could probably get 150 plus for it. What's up, Lemming? How many board games do I have? Andrew, we don't count these things. We do not ask these questions. And no, I do not like going along with the crowd. Wow, this has been a really good box. This has been a really good box so far, guys. I'm digging this, and I've still got I think there's 6 packs left. You say too many. I disagree with you. I don't believe there is such a thing as too many. I think the very idea is ludicrous. Now, I probably won't get another one of those. I don't know that it's, I don't know if these boxes came out of separate cases or what, but I highly suspect we won't be drawing more than one of those. Man, that's pretty. Another hyperspace. That's a common TIE Defender. It's a great looking card. Upside down rare, Wedge Antilles, another personal favorite of mine. I'm a big fan of Wedge. Let's put these over here. A little easier to see them. Foil Hyperspace Corellian Freighter, another common. Nice, nice, nice. 6 boxes in a case. 6 boxes in a case. So that's the thing about Sabine, right? Is that she's, in theory, I should not have another one of these in these last boxes, right? I shouldn't. All right, here's another leader I didn't have. There's a Hera Syndulla. She's another Rebel leader, obviously. Didn't have one of those. That's good to see. Ginger will be glad to see that. That's probably a deck that she'll want to play. She loves Hera. Foil uncommon. That's a Devotion. And then a Heroic Sacrifice. And then a bunch of other stuff that I will sort through later. Yeah, so the odds are against me pulling another one of those, but man, it would be cool if I did. I have not heard of anybody Oh, this is the one I wanted. Here we go. Here we go. This is, oh yeah. This is good. This is good. So, in my second pre-release, I played Thrawn. And at the end of that event, there was a guy there who, he really wanted a Thrawn, and he didn't have one. And so he was like, okay, what do you want for that card? And I ended up trading him, I traded him for the leader version of Emperor Palpatine, which I still don't have. I'm glad I did, because I haven't found another one yet. There's probably one in here somewhere. He's just a regular rare. But now I have replaced my Thrawn, which is nice. I wanted another one of him. I really liked playing him. His ability is so thematic and so fun on the table. They did such a great job designing that particular card. It's really, really solid. And a Traitorous, that's an irritating card. Somebody last night, one of my buddies was telling me he lost his draft game basically exclusively because of someone had drafted a Traitorous and yoinked one of his units like at the wrong time. Okay, Electric, so that's a good question. You're asking about the basis. Here's how a TCG works, a trading card game, or what you'll sometimes hear them called a CCG, a collectible or a customizable card game. The way it works is fairly straightforward, right? The designers, the manufacturers of the game will design a set. Let's call it 250 cards. I think this set is like 252 cards, okay? So you design a set. You print it, you release it. And then you tell people what the rules are to play the game. You have your deck, you have to build a 50 card deck, and it's got to have these things in it if there's restrictions, and then you sit down and you play, and you are fighting an opponent for some win condition, okay? But what goes into that deck is completely up to you. Usually there are restrictions in terms of how many of each card you can put in a deck. In Magic, for example, you can't have more than 4 copies of any one card in I think it's a 60 card deck. For Star Wars Unlimited, the minimum deck size is 50. I believe 50 is, I think it's a minimum, not a maximum. There might be a maximum. Anyway, you build a 50 card deck, and the maximum number of any one card you can have is 3. 3 copies of anything. So if you own 3 of any card, you have all you could ever need to actually play the game with. But then you decide what goes into the deck. Okay, you sit down with your collection, and amongst those cards, you build a deck of whatever it is you want to play, and then you sit down and play your opponent. And because of the variability in, hey, there's 250 cards, and you're picking out the ones you want, and just going to town, then there's no, the variety is limitless, like just crazy. All right, Mercenary Company for the foil. I got a U-Wing replacement for the rare, and that's about all that was in this pack. So you can go a lot of different ways, right? There's a lot of different things that you can do. Nice. So this pack started off with 2 hyperspaces. I have a hyperspace leader Tarkin, which is pretty cool, and then another hyperspace base right away. 4th one of those in the box. Man, I've got a lot of hyperspace cards in this. And then there's another one buried back here, a hyperspace mining guild TIE fighter, little guy. Regular rare there, Electra Staff, another foil Jedi lightsaber. Didn't I have one of those earlier? I think I had a foil. Yeah, so I had a foil hyperspace Jedi lightsaber. My first pack was a regular Jedi lightsaber, and now I've got a foil regular Jedi lightsaber. So 3 of those in the same box. So if you wanted to play Hero Blue, this was the box for you, ladies and gentlemen. Goodness gracious. I mean, Electric, it depends on what the objective of the game you're playing is. In a minute, I'm about to open my last pack for this box, and I'll talk you through what that means in Star Wars Unlimited. There's a plain Tarkin. And we end the box with a Relentless, a plain old rare, a Star Destroyer, and a foil Bib Fortuna. Actually, this guy should probably go down here because he is a foil rare. I'm wondering if I got any other foil rares in here that I did not put down with. I'm just kind of just shoving the foil commons and uncommons over there. Yeah, there's the Bendu. I knew I'd gotten at least one. Yeah, okay, there we go. Cool. All right, put this, double check, got everything out. Yep. So there we go, guys. I'll pull this stuff out of the way just for clarity's sake. And there we go. This is box. This is move this stuff off camera so it's not cluttering things up. That is box number 1 right there. That looks pretty good, right? I got a whole big pile. I got 4 hyperspace bases, 1 of each color, a whole bunch of different hyperspace cards, including 1 hyperspace foil rare in here. We got a showcase, of course. We got our Sabine. We had a Vader. I had a Mace. I had a Vigilance and a Cunning. So I got 4 legendaries out of this box, along with some stuff that some leaders that I didn't have. Right, I didn't have the Thrawn. I didn't have the Hera. I needed the other Royal Guard because I do have a Palpatine that I'm still working on building a deck with. So yeah. Is there a Death Star or is it just characters? So I'll explain that in just a second, Andrew. Just a second. So yeah, this was a solid box. This was a solid box. Not bad.